Here are almost 30 things I like about the Star Wars prequels. The movies depict something we rarely see in science fiction, which is the story of a hero's fall. But whereas the classics show an otherwise noble hero falling due to a single flaw, this one shows the fall from being a bratty kid who's obviously harboring evil to being openly evil. The dialogue in the prequels has more of that George Lucas touch than any other part of Star Wars. They put Anakin in a Darth Vader suit at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and because this let them put Vader on the promotional materials, we were able to go into a prequel movie holding on to hope one more time. Anakin was a boy and Padme was a girl, so their relationship did not look as obviously gross and predatory as it would have if it were the other way around. The graphics for the computer animation look pretty darn good when you consider people were playing the Atari 2600 only 20 years earlier. When Hayden Christensen was in the movies, Jake Lloyd wasn't anymore. When Jake Lloyd was in the movies, Hayden Christensen wasn't yet. In Attack of the Clones, we learn that Boba Fett had a dad named Jango Fett. This teaches us that there's a system to his name and that Fett is actually a last name, which really brings this character down to earth and eliminates a lot of that cool mystery that plagued him up to that point. Samuel L. Jackson gave a subdued performance as Mace Windu, thereby subverting our expectations of him as a fun and charismatic actor. Darth Maul has red face paint and horns, which makes him look devil-looking so we understand he's a bad guy. Yoda using a lightsaber technically makes sense in a way, even if it runs against everything about the personality and feel of the character established in The Empire Strikes Back. That makes it technically hard to argue that having him dance around like a spaz was a bad choice. Darth Sidious was not named Darth Insidious, which kept his name from being too on the nose. I like the movie's meta description of itself. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. This trilogy is just so dense. There's so much going on in every scene. I love Obi-Wan's development across this series from stupid looking to Jesus Christ to pretty cool looking. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Rhyming is like when one stanza is exactly the same as another one because you quit writing anything original, right? When Palpatine tempts Anakin, he doesn't just try to nudge him toward bad behavior that could lead toward a normal human decline toward darkness. He methodically lays out a sales pitch like, here's what you can do if you become a Sith, so when can I count on you to join up? Obi-Wan doesn't just use the Force to instantly destroy characters like General Grievous or Jango Fett. That makes fun stuff happen in those scenes that we wouldn't get to see in a plausible encounter between a non-Force user and a Jedi. We finally solved the mystery of what causes the Force because of midichlorians. Also, midichlorians sound kind of like chlorine, so that's pretty cool. The Jedi now refer to a prophecy. It's nice to see the vague ability to predict the future using the Force codified in this organized religion kind of way. The Senate is absurdly huge, which it would be since it's for a whole galaxy. This shows too that it's become bloated and corrupt, but like in a stupidly huge way? I don't know. Also, they sit in things that fly because it's a space Senate. The queen of an entire planet is a teenager. This shows that anybody can do it, in a way that's even somehow less stupid than in real life. Little Anakin did pod racing, which established how he was able to fly a fighter craft. When they had a bad robot who was a general, they named him Grievous so we would know he was grievously bad. They replaced baby Anakin Skywalker with baby Boba Fett. Always nice to see your armored men of mystery as children. The last movie showed how the Emperor shriveled up into a gross raisin. The story felt incomplete when he was just kind of a vaguely old deteriorating character, so it's nice to see that one event caused it. Probably all old people just got in a fight, maybe, I don't know. All the Sith in the prequels are named Darth, so now I understand that Darth Vader is a title followed by a name. Nice to really nail the etymology of how we identify a dark, mysterious villain. The lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin was long enough that I was able to get the idea of what was going on. And finally, they weren't any worse.